Hello today, JTECH. We're presently doing a brake inspection on a 2003 Mercury Grand Marquis. As you can see, we have the tools over here for the inspection that will presently be done. Welcome back, JTECH. We're here to do this brake inspection, so be advised that you do want to get your brakes checked on an annual basis at minimum. As you look at the components of your brake system, which we will go over step by step with each individual tool to do this inspection, keep in mind that you do need to provide proper safety when doing so. As you can see, I'm wearing iPro. That's one thing. Secondly is gloves, but we haven't started yet with gloves. You always want to protect yourself. Lastly, keep in mind, if you don't do an annual brake inspection, you can possibly cause yourself or passengers harm and injury and any other vehicle on the road. You always want to inspect your studs as well as your lug nuts. Ensure that they are not stripped, they're secured, and down to torque specs per your manufacturer. Next up of your brake inspection, you do want to check your hoses and lines. You want to make sure that there's no leaks, that everything's attached properly. You don't want to see any corrosion or rust, and make sure that you always use any type of Loctite sealant. You want to check your hardware for your brake system. A solid brake system, and one of the most critical components is the hardware. As you can see here, we have the clips that hold the pads in place. A lot of this is actually overlooked. They think that they don't need these clips, and then they'll often get squeals and things of those caliber, and unfortunately, they'll go into the repair shop to get that situated, and they'll be spending 70 bucks just for something as simple as a clip. Now we're going to check the rotor runout. We have to use a dial indicator. As you can see the device up here, you must secure it appropriately. You're going to lock the mechanism in place, and as you rotate your rotor, you're going to see in a 10,000ths of an inch how it is applied. The highest number is where you're going to specify yourself based upon the manufacturer to get your specs to see if your runout is solid. So the next part of your brake inspection is going to be your pads. You want to visually inspect it for any type of scuffs, markings, unevenness. In addition to that, you want to check your back plate, make sure everything's pressed. It shows that this actually has some of the components missing. In addition to that, you're going to take your vernier caliper, you're going to make sure that you zero it out. You'll then position it here at the clip to get the measurement. Once you get the measurement, then you're going to re-zero, position it to the pad itself, get your measurement, and then follow the specifications from your manufacturer to ensure that it is still serviceable. For the next part of your brake inspection, you want to go ahead and check your rotor thickness. On the thickness itself, you want to take a vernier caliper, or you can use a micrometer. I prefer the digital vernier caliper, and you're going to make sure that you position this and measure it at 3 different points. You're going to follow the millimeter specs based upon your manufacturer to see if the rotor is resurfaceable. The next part of your brake inspection, you want to inspect your caliper. As you see, you have your bleeder valve. You want to make sure that it is free of corrosion and it's able to expose the fluid so it's able to drain when you take your piston and you're replacing your pads to recompress. You want to also check your pistons themselves and the seals around them. Look for any seepage and ensure that it is still serviceable, so you do not need to replace it. In addition to that, make sure there's no rust, corrosion, and everything frees from the brake lines that come down to you. The next part of your brake inspection, you want to be able to service your wheel bearings. You can have sealed or serviceable wheel bearings. They are essential in the operation of your vehicle. More precisely, a wheel bearing is crucial for the proper function of the hub, tire, and wheel assemblies to work together. The wheel bearing allows friction-free movement and rotation of the hub assembly, thereby provides smooth tire and wheel rotation. Next in your braking system, you want to inspect your brake booster for any leaks or seepage, as well as your master cylinder that runs down into your ABS system on this 2003 Mercury Grand Marquis. As you see, the lines then will feed down to each hub assembly inside of the wheel well, and you'll have your ABS sensor there that you also want to visually inspect to make sure that there is no frayed wiring or all the clips are actually serviceable and be able to be locked. And thank you for tuning in. That is a full brake inspection on all the components of a brake assembly on a 2003 Mercury Grand Marquis.